All right. So, guys, today we have a topic at hand. We're going to be discussing airlines hiding cheaper flights from you in 2026. Yes, I know it's unbelievable to you. It is 2026, and such a thing would be happening in plain sight. Today, we're going to be discussing it. What if I told you that the flights that you're looking at is priced based on a lie? Not a lie about where you're going, but a lie about how you're supposed to get there. Airlines use this wild, confusing system to figure out what you pay, and trust me, it's designed to pump up the profits, not to give you a good deal. You might see a flight from New York, guys, right, to London for $800. But is that the real price? Is that the real price? Or is there a cheaper combo they're not showing you? That's what we're going to be discussing today, right? They're betting you take the easy option. They're betting, that's the airline, you won't look behind the curtains. Today, we're pulling that curtain all the way back. I'll explain the secret pricing trick airlines use to their advantage. And I'm going to show you 3 powerful and perfect legal hacks to beat the system, and also to find a cheap flight that they're hiding from you. We got to try and figure out how to take advantage of it. Today, we're going to go into the secret pricing game. Secret pricing game. Now, before we actually get to that part of the game and the hacks, you need to understand the game first of all. You need to understand the game that you're playing. The prices of the ticket has way less to do with distance than you actually think. I know it's a misconception. It's all about demand and supply, competition, and a bunch of super complex algorithms. Interesting, right? Here we go with this word again. Algorithms. Yes, it's everywhere. It's what runs the world. A huge part of their strategy is actually a weird trick where they bundle the flights together. And only the algorithms could do this. It sounds complicated, right? But here's the simple version. Airlines can electronically link 2 or more flights, selling them as a single package that you can break apart. Think of it like a cable bundle. And I'm going to go into details of this for you so you can understand exactly what we're talking about. You just want the internet, but the company wants to offer you a cheaper price per service if you also get the cable and the landline. And that's even if you never, ever use the phone. That's the trick. Airlines do the exact same thing with flights. The insurance companies do the very same thing as well. Cable companies do the very same thing. Right? So that's what we're actually going to go into today. Now, here's a real world example. Let's say you want to fly from a small city like Des Moines, right, to a major hub like Chicago. That direct flight might be expensive because everyone wants it, right? But an airline might be selling the flight from Des Moines to London that connects through Chicago, right? Now, since fewer people are flying from Des Moines to London, the airline might offer a much cheaper fare for the entire journey just to fill the plane. That's the trick. They usually oversell flights, right? That's the simple trick. That's the truth. That cheaper fare is actually only available if and only if you buy the whole package, Des Moines to London, right? Now, the airline electronically links the Des Moines to Chicago leg with Chicago to London leg. They actually deliberately hide the ability to book just the cheap Des Moines to Chicago trip portion, just so that you have to buy the entire thing. Now, you would ask, but why? To protect the massive profits they will actually make on the expensive direct flight. They know people in Des Moines will pay a premium to go to London. The premium to get to Chicago. And they don't want to grab a seat meant for a long haul. Just think about it, right? They don't want to pay for a long haul passenger on a cheap flight. This leads to total backward situations where flying from A to B can cost more than flying from A to C with a stop in B. It feels wrong. But that's how they control prices and squeeze every single last dollar out of every single seat. Now, you could see that even clearer when it comes to the Caribbean. I mean, the astronomical prices, the connections, how they try to bundle all the flights together to go to one direction and force you to go for that flight. It's blatant, it's blunt, you could actually see it, right? Now, we're going to go into tack number 1. Destroy the myth of round trips. I've always wanted to address this. I've not gotten a chance as yet. Today is this day. For as long as I can remember, we've been told that booking a round trip is always cheaper than 2 one-ways. I've always heard that, right? That might be one of the most outdated pieces of travel advice out there. And I could tell you that. While it can still hold true for some big international flights on the old school airlines, it's often completely false, completely, for those tons of other routes, especially domestic flights. It's not cheaper. The boom of low-cost airlines, sorry about that, which almost always price the flights one way, has forced the whole industry to change. This means the price of a round trip is now often just the price of 2 separate one-way tickets added together. They figured it out. So, the first and easiest hack is always compare the price of a round trip against booking 2 separate one-ways. Just think about it. Prices change with dates and stuff. Just check a round trip price and then check two individual one-way prices. That's the work that travel consultants, travel agents, and stuff have, which could be tedious, right? But that's how they figure out a better price for you. One of the ways, right? Now, let's say you're flying from New York to Miami. A round trip on American Airlines might be, what, about $278? But what if you checked the one-way price? You might find the flight down on American is as low as $139, and the return is also $139. Same price. So who cares, right? Well, think about it. Booking separately gives you flexibility. Yeah, flexibility. If you need to change your return date, you're only messing with one ticket, which can make things way easier, way simpler, and much cheaper. But the real magic actually happens when you find a price difference. Maybe Spirit has a flight going to Miami for $80. So that's the thing. You could compare airlines, right? You're not just assigned to one airline. That's pretty much they do it as well. And for the return, you can find JetBlue for $110. Your new total would be $190. Just by breaking that round trip mindset, right? You've saved $90. You could get a good drink, you could get a night at a hotel or something to help you out with those funds that you save because you were willing to fly different airlines. It's that simple, right? Booking sites want you to keep in a single airline bubble. You have to be the one to set outside of it. They're not going to do it for you. Now, hack number 2. Become a master of the multi-airline itinerary, right? Become a master of the multi-airline itinerary. This leads perfectly into hack number 2, which is basically the first hack on steroids. Building your own multi-airline itinerary instead of letting a booking site serve you a simple, often pricier round trip. On airlines, you become your own travel agent. And I mean, you have help to do that. I mean, this is what we do as well. We do own a travel agency. So we want to take a quick break to, if you have any travel issues and you need assistance booking your travel, feel free to reach out to islandvacas.com. That is ISLANDVACAS.com. And you have the option to have a travel agent help you, or you could actually book directly online as well, right? So you have a choice. You could actually also even compare flights right on the website. Don't forget to check us out at www.islandvacas.com, right? Now, let's get back to it. Guys, your new best friend for this is Google Flights as well. That's another option if you don't want to use a travel agency or a travel agent. You could book it yourself, right? It's one of the few tools that makes it incredibly easy to search for one-way flights across almost every single airline at the same time, because they have a better algorithm than everybody else. Here's the game plan. When you plan a trip, don't just search for a round trip. Do 2 separate one-way searches. One going, one coming back. Check the results for both and compare it. You might find that for your trip from Chicago to Las Vegas, United has the best departure times and prices, but Southwest has killer deals on the return flights a week later. You're essentially cherry picking the absolute best price and schedule for each direction that you're going. This gives you so much power and liberty. Maybe you want to fly out with an airline that has a more generous baggage allowance, but you're fine with no frills, carry-ons, only flights on the way home. Mixing and matching gives you the freedom. This is also the ultimate strategy for open jar trips. Not very many people are familiar with what an open jar trip is. It would be connecting, like, you might fly to one destination, but that's not the very same destination that you're going to be flying back from. You're going to go to another city and then come back. That's what an open jar trip would be. Where you fly into, like I was just explaining, you fly into one city and out another. Best simple way to put it. Let's say you want a tour of Italy. You could book a one-way ticket into Rome, traveling the country by train, and then book a total separate one-way ticket home from Venice on a different airline. This is almost always cheaper and way more efficient than trying to force a multi-city booking on a single airline website. It is very, very difficult, right? Now, if your brain is already spinning, guys, with ideas for your next trip, and you want to keep learning how to beat the system, do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button down below. We appreciate it. And on all platforms, it tells the algorithms you're finding this very useful, and it helps more people find the video and save some serious moolah, some dinero, right? So we also want to take a quick break to say thank you to our sponsors, Scony.com. They have spikeless golf shoes, fancy, nice spikeless golf shoes for all your golf needs. Visit Scony.com and let them know Island Vacation sent you. Island Vacation Podcast sent you. And don't forget to use our code Island Vacation for 15% off on their site. That is Scony.com. Don't forget to check it out. Right? Now, let's jump right into hack number 3, the hidden city secret. Yes, now it's getting even more exciting. Now, I want you all to use this with extreme caution. Right? Okay. Now, for the one you've been waiting for, the most controversial hack of them all. This is the one that directly exploits that weird pricing. That weird pricing trick I was talking about, we talked about at the very start. It's called hidden city ticketing or skip lagging. Remember those words. Remember those words. Hidden city ticketing and skip lagging, right? And while it can save you a fortune with flights and travel and stuff, it comes with major risk. And let me be crystal clear. This is against the airline's rules, right? Here's how it works. Remember how a flight from Des Moines to London with a stop in Chicago, remember that flight could be cheaper than the direct flight to Chicago. Remember that? With hidden city ticketing, you'd book that cheap Des Moines to London flight with zero intention of going to London, right? You get off the plane in Chicago and just walk out of the airport. That's simple. Now, the airline is not going to like that. Your layover city was your real destination the whole time. That's the trick of it. The airline doesn't know, and you've paid your money, but they do not like that. Websites like Skiplagged, that's Skiplagged, find these, right? They find these. You could see a direct flight to a hub city for $450, but a flight to a smaller city that connects through that hub for only $280. You book the cheaper flight, ditch the connection, and save $180. So, what's the catch? Well, the risks are actually huge. First, and this is actually a big one, you cannot check a bag, right? Remember, it's a connection, so you can't check a bag. Your bag will just end up at the destination, so it would end up in London. So you cannot check a bag, period. Your checked luggage will always go to the final destination on the ticket. So if you get off in Chicago, your bags are going to go to London. Okay? Now, this only works with a backpack. You carry your stuff under the seat in front of you or in the overhead. If the overhead bins are full and you're forced to check your bag, it's gone. Right? Second, this is a one-way only trick. If you skip a leg on a wrong trip ticket, the airline system will automatically cancel every other flight on your itinerary without a refund. So this is why I'm warning you guys. Your entire trip home would just vanish. And third, the airlines really don't like this. And they can actually punish you for it. Unfortunately, right? Because you're cutting into their profits and they're not expecting you to know those tricks. But this is everyone on the internet. This is nothing illegal, right? It's just that they don't like it. They might cancel your frequent flyer account if you have one and wipe out all your hard-earned miles. So you have to be aware. If you're doing that, be very, 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 very careful. In very rare cases, they've even tried to ban passengers. So, people have been trying this. People have been doing this. It's just that you can't afford to make any mistakes doing this. Now, you are breaking a contract carriage. All that fine print you agreed to when you bought the ticket. And nobody reads that fine print, but that's what it's all about. So while hidden city ticketing is a powerful way to outsmart the system, it's a high stakes game. I would only recommend it to experienced travelers who know exactly what they're getting into and accept all the risk. Okay? Just letting you know. Now, the downside. why this isn't always a good idea. Look, it's all about being a smart traveler, not just a cheap one. Sometimes you get what you pay for. While building your own itinerary with separate one-way tickets can save you a ton of money, you have to know the trade-off. Okay? When you book two separate tickets, the airlines see them as two totally independent contracts because that's what it is. This means if your first flight on United is delayed and you miss your connection on Spirit, Spirit doesn't care because it's two separate airlines, right? As far as they're concerned, you've just a no-show. You will be stuck buying a new last-minute ticket at a ridiculously high price when you book a real connection on a single ticket. Even if it's on different partner airlines, and you must remember that those airlines are partnered. A lot of people don't remember that. You're protected. If there a delay and you miss your connection, the airline is responsible for getting you on the next available flight at no extra cost to you. You have to weigh the risk versus the reward. Now, if you're saving $50, it's probably not worth it. If you're saving a few $100s, like $500, it might be. My rule of thumb is to leave a huge layover between flights you book separately. That's the trick. At least 5 hours for domestic flights, even more for international flights. That gives you a buffer for most delays, whatever the delays may be. Or even better, use the strategy when your connections are a day or two apart, right? Now, airlines pricing, guys, feels like it's designed to be confusing, but it doesn't have to be. By understanding the games they play with their pricing systems, guys, you could see where the real deals are actually hidden. So let's recap the game plan. First, always challenge the round trip, right? Always challenge the wrong trip. Price it out as two one ways to see if you could find a better deal. I'm going to repeat that. Price out the one-way tickets separately to see if you could actually find a better deal. Second, be your own travel agent, your own travel counselor. And if you have a hard time doing that, as I told you all, we're not just a travel agent. We're not just a podcast. We own a travel agency and a transportation business. We are everything travel. We could help you get there. Check out our website at islandvacays.com. That is islandvacas.com. So if you don't want to be your own travel agent and you just want some advice from a travel counselor professional, someone who travels a lot, we could help you out. We have a team of people that'll help you out. Now, if you don't want to do that, you could also price on our website. And if you don't want to do that, Google has its website. It has Google Flights to mix and match airlines to build the cheapest and the most convenient trips, I would say, right? Possible. Thirdly, know about the high risks, high reward hacks of hidden cities. Also be careful. Let me repeat that. Don't forget knowing the high risk, right, about the high reward hack of hidden city ticketing. But be careful of the consequences. And this is why I'm giving the warning, and this is why I'm repeating it. I want you all to be aware of it. There's a way to go around it, but you have to be careful. You don't want to get flagged by those airlines because they love their profits. So next, you're booking a flight. Don't just take the first price they have to show you. Dig a little deeper. Spend an extra 5 to 10 minutes running those one-way searches. You may come up with a better, cheaper, more reliable price. You now have the tools, guys, to fly back against the confusing system and also find the best and cheapest flights they offer. Right? And they didn't see, they didn't see that you would actually know anything about this. So be very cautious about it. Be careful with it. You have the information. Information is a key. Use the key properly. Now, I want to hear from you guys, right? I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear what's the best flight deal you've ever found by breaking the rules and mixing airlines, right? Share your stories in the comments on all the platforms. Please share below. We really, really would love to hear what deals you guys have gotten, how cheap you've gotten your flights, and like, share, and subscribe. Share with someone you know that flies and travels very often, whether it's a small business or business traveler, frequent traveler. This may become useful to them. And if you're someone who is beginning to travel or thinking about it, we've given you some very cool tricks to try to figure out how to get the best flights and best trips. Book one-way flights. Okay? Now, I want to say again, thank you very much to our sponsors, Skony.com with spikeless golf shoes. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Don't forget to visit Skony.com. That's SKONI.com, and let them know Island Vacation Travel Podcast sent you, and you can receive 15% off the entire store. Okay, that is Island Vacation, one word. Again, guys, thank you again for tuning in with us. Share, like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.